He's an absolute blockbuster. 10-time Greek champions Aris host 18-time and reigning French champions ASVEL Lyon-Villeurbanne. It's a pleasure having your company at the Nick Gallis Hall in Thessaloniki. Two teams on display, desperate to reach the quarter-finals and ultimately go all the way to the first ever Basketball Champions League title game. And these fans will look to get behind their team again, as they did in the playoff qualifier tie that's got them here against Strasbourg. Well, as I say, last night just a 4-point margin across all three games combined. Incredibly close, three fantastic matchups. It could barely have been any closer. Ike by 1 over Monaco, Pout by 3 over Tenerife, and Oldenburg and Banvit dead level ahead of the second legs. 5 more first leg ties tonight. Elsewhere, Karşıyaka against Besiktas got underway about 20 minutes ago, and then later this evening MHP Reason host Neptunas, Sassari welcome Le Mans, and Venezia entertain Avellino. On this court tonight, it's Aris looking to repeat their big home leg performance from the last round, and ASVEL looking to shake off any BCL ring rust as they play in this competition for the first time in a month, having bypassed the qualifiers by winning their regular season group. Aris, the home team, 8-6 to finish 4th in Group A, and ASVEL 10-4 to finish top of Group C. Here's their roster. You look to the number 15, Walter Hodge leads the team with 13.3 points, 5.6 assists per game. And number 20 there, DeMarcus Nelson, a key player in a number of box score columns, 10.4 points, and team's second best averages, 4.7 assists, 4.5 boards, 1.4 steals per game. Right at the top of that list as well was Nikola Dragovic, who averages 10.7 points per game, a team's second best tally. And for this Aris team, Will Cummings, the number 12, averages a team high 14.9 points per game, as well as over 3 assists, nearly 4 rebounds and 1.7 steals per game as well. Michael Jenkins just above him, fellow American, has a team's second best 12.3 points per game, and Justin Jackson, another American towards the top there. A big acquisition, 7.3 points, 7.3 boards, 1.3 steals and 1.3 blocks per game over just 3 games since signing for the Greek club. The stage is set, as you can see. The Greek fans will pack this place out as ever to get behind their team. There'll be plenty of them, I'm sure, on the road again in France, as they were just last week. It's been a season of runs for them so far. They started their campaign with a 4-game win streak, then lost 3 in a row. They followed that with 3 straight wins again, then finished the regular season by losing 3 of their last 4. Got back to winning ways in the first leg of their playoff qualifier. Their defense really providing a foundation for a comprehensive first leg win over Strasbourg. They just about clung on in the end on the road to make it here and to face this ASVEL Lyon-Villeurbanne team, who 10-4 in the regular season, have also had a campaign of runs. They started with a 4-game win streak, then lost 3 in a row. And they are being introduced here to the Greek fans, and now it's time for the home team, Aris Thessaloniki, who really dominated Strasbourg on this court a couple of weeks ago. And said it was their defense that provided the platform for them, 16 steals to 6. They outscored their opponents 18-2 on the fast break, as well as forcing the French side into 26 turnovers to win the game by 19. Strasbourg then gave it an almighty push in the second leg, shooting 56% inside, 42% from downtown, getting up by as many as 22 points, but ultimately only winning by 11 to lose by 8 on aggregate. Two head coaches for this one, JD Jackson for ASVEL and Dimitris Priftis for Aris. Two teams who've had so much success down the years certainly in terms of domestic basketball, not so much in ASVEL's case. In terms of continental competition, they are still waiting for their first major European trophy. They have lost in both of their two finals appearances, the Supporter Cup in 1983 and most recently the FIBA EuroLeague final in 1997. Aris, on the other hand, winners of 3 European titles, the Supporter Cup for them in 1993, the Korach Cup in 97, and most recently the FIBA Champions Cup in 2003, winning by 1 point at the buzzer in an historic final for the club. Very little to separate these two in terms of offensive output. Both average around 76 points per game. Both shoot around 45% from the field. Very little to separate them both in terms of inside and outside accuracy, rebounding and blocks. Very evenly matched in that respect, but ASVEL do have a couple of very big pluses in their favour. 12 turnovers per game is only bettered by AEK and Besiktas. Aris, on the other hand, have committed the 5th most at 16.4 per game in this season's competition. And the French champions also move the ball better, a league 5th best average of 18.9 assists. Aris just 34th in that department with 4 fewer per game. But if the Greeks do have one secret weapon of their own, it's their pickpocket ability. A league 5th best, 8.8 steals per game. ASVEL down in 26th at 7.1. Your officials for tonight's first leg of this playoff tie. The second leg will be played next week in Lyon-Villeurbanne, and this ASVEL starting 5 here will hope to give the French champions the best possible start and take something back to fight for on French soil. I've talked about a number of those players: Hodge, Nelson, Dragovic, the other two in there, Long and Watkins, to round out the starting 5. Darryl Watkins leading the team in rebounding, 6.2 per game. Also has 1.1 blocks per game for coach J.D. Jackson's team. As for Aris, I've talked about the key American contingent. Cummings and Jenkins get the starts, and Thopoulos has a team-high 3.4 assists per game for them. Cyrelis and Kavadas, the other players in the starting 5. Vasilis Kavadas limited to 8 appearances this season due to injury, but he's averaged 7.6 points, 3.5 boards and 2 blocks per game, playing just 15.5 minutes a game so far for coach Dimitris Priftis. He is the Greek League Coach of the Year for 2016, an assistant as well on the Greek national team at Eurobasket 2015 and the Olympic qualifying tournament. There's Will Cummings, who carries the main scoring responsibility on his shoulders to try and please these Greek fans. He had a game-high 21 points and 5 assists in game 1 of the last round, then 14 points, 5 boards, 4 assists in game 2. A number of Aris players struggled in that game 2 in Strasbourg. They might need another big home court win in this playoff tie against another French opponent. He wasn't involved too much, Vasilis Xanthopoulos, certainly on offense in the playoff qualifier, averaged just 2 assists and 1.5 points per game. Across those last 2 games, way below his productivity in the regular season. There'll be a number of those players who struggled on the road in France last week, maybe just took their foot off the gas after that big advantage here in the first leg. They'll want to put any memories of a poor performance, a get-out-of-jail performance really last week, behind them. Here we go then, the 10-time Greek champions taking on the 18-time and reigning French champions. A 3-time European trophy winner versus a team desperately still searching for their first continental gold. It's Aris Thessaloniki against ASVEL Lyon-Villeurbanne live in the first leg of the Basketball Champions League playoffs. It's Aris who start with the ball and move it forward to Michael Jenkins. 12.3 points per game so far for him as it goes on to Xanthopoulos, trying to have more of an impact on this tie, the number 4. You can hear the atmosphere. It's already in the ascendancy here as it's put up towards the basket, and it will count for Vasilis Kavadas. The goaltend called against ASVEL. So Kavadas up and running already. Only played 9.5 minutes per game in their playoff qualifier. An average just 3.5 points, 3 rebounds a game. Another man who was way below his regular season averages. Long 2 for ASVEL here, and they're able to answer back with Nicola Long. It's gone down as a 3-pointer. Looked to me like a toe on the line, but it has been called a 3. So ASVEL get the lead. Under the hoop goes Xanthopoulos, back out to the perimeter. Across to the far side. Aris with a 3 of their own. Can't hit this one, and Long grabs the rebound. Walter Hodge, leading scorer and facilitator. Across it goes from Dragovic to the far side, and a travel call this time on Long, who's seen plenty of the ball at both ends of the floor. Saw only the good before that. Now we've seen some of the bad. That was the one called a 3. Difficult to tell from that angle. Cummings, 24-year-old American, moves it on to 30-year-old American Michael Jenkins. On towards Kavadas again, into the paint, knocked away, and a travel called this time against Vasilis Kavadas. Well, you can see there it has been changed to a 2, so that first basket for ASVEL has now been counted as a 2, as I thought was the case. So Aris and ASVEL dead level. Walter Hodge on the left-hand drive, pulls up for the 3. Tipped away from the rim towards Xanthopoulos. He's just held up by Hodge and will take his time here. Xanthopoulos, bounce pass into the lane. Kavadas lost it though, just couldn't grab the handle on the pass. And then a foul in transition. Good start then for Vasilis Kavadas with that first basket, but a couple of errors now. Had the ball stripped away a couple of times in the paint. Hodge to inbound, they try and put it up quickly, and foul immediately called. Nicola Long involved again. And he'll go to the line for 2. First foul of the game is on Aris. And Long, the 26-year-old Frenchman, who averaged over 8 points per game and 2.5 assists per game in the regular season, is at the line and makes no mistake with the first. He was only 1 of 5 from the field in ASVEL's last game in this competition a month ago. They did lose that final game of the regular season. And they haven't fared too well in the French league since losing that game. They've actually lost 3 in a row in their domestic league since their last Basketball Champions League game. Nice bounce pass, Xanthopoulos off the baseline, back to Kavadas, doing the damage again inside. Vasilis Kavadas with all 4 points for Aris. Hodge. Now DeMarcus Nelson, back over to the far side. They swing it around the perimeter. 3-pointer rattles in and comes back out again. Aris looking to take the lead here. Calling for the ball inside is Cyrelis. Able to get it now, edge of the paint, looks to back in, go one-on-one against Dragovic, and Dragovic is called for ASVEL's first foul of the game. Told you they'd make some noise. And that is why Aris are such a formidable opponent on this court. Cummings in towards Kavadas again, looking to go to work. Edge of the paint again, backing down his man, turns to the backboard and puts it in. Dominant start from Vasilis Kavadas. 6 points in the first 3 minutes. That's what he's capable of. Nelson gets it back from Dragovic here. Nelson stepping in towards the foul line, tries to hang it high, knocked away though. A chance to come in transition, coast to coast goes Will Cummings, and he's hit along the way on his route to the rim. And they have certainly enjoyed the start. And the unsportsmanlike called on Walter Hodge. It was a hard foul. And Cummings with foul shots and Aris with possession as a result of that unsportsmanlike call. And he makes both of them, Will Cummings, so Aris have doubled ASVEL's tally here in the opening 3 minutes and 18 seconds, and they'll have a chance to do a little bit more than that with possession. Will Cummings looking to attack quickly. Drives all the way, almost put it in. He got contact, and he'll be back at the line. The foul starting to rack up on ASVEL now. That's 3 already on the French champions, after Aris had picked up the first 2 in the game. First foul shot missed this time by Will Cummings. Just seen as well Walter Hodge sitting. That is because that was his second foul. And that one will go for Aris to extend their advantage as they get the offensive tip on the missed foul shot. Really good start for the Greeks here, up by 6, and ASVEL have their leading scorer and facilitator on the bench in foul trouble. Big basket for them, battling away on the baseline to put it in was Nikola Dragovic. Stops a little bit of a rot for ASVEL. Cummings. Looking to attack Trenton Meacham, who's come into the game. Cummings back onto his left hand. Stopped by the help defence that came across. They have to fire up a 3 at the end of the shot clock. Won't go down. And there's a battle in the paint to try and gather the rebound. And the foul has been given against ASVEL. It's going to be 4 on the French team with still 5 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the first quarter. We'll see the jostling for position here, and the foul I think has gone against Darryl Watkins. That's his first. Jenkins trapped over on the far sideline and forced into the turnover. So a bit of joy for ASVEL finally, and for coach JD Jackson. Third turnover of the quarter for Aris. ASVEL have at least protected the ball fairly well. Long. And it goes towards Dragovic, knocked away over the top of him by Tyrelis. Both teams able to hit 100% so far inside the arc. Watkins looking to hand it off here. Approaching the midway point of the first. They'll try and find Watkins again inside. Puts the ball on the floor. Can he put it in the basket? Yes, he can. ASVEL closing the gap. And that was right at the end of the shot clock. First score of the game for Darryl Watkins, the American centre. Bounce pass off the baseline to Justin Jackson. Pretty move through the paint as he puts it in off the glass. Justin Jackson, composure personified that time. To Marcus Nelson. Gives it to Meacham in a deep position. He looks to attack, kicks it to the corner. They'll try and get down the baseline. Meacham's positioned. Dragovic as well on the perimeter. They'll attack inside instead through Watkins. And the foul called on the shot. So Darryl Watkins will go to the line. Just caught on the elbow, as you can see there. So Watkins at the stripe for 2. First foul on Justin Jackson. Third team foul on Aris. 4.5 to play in the first. So far ASVEL have been able to push things to the limit in terms of their own foul trouble in this first quarter and not take it too far, but they are teetering on the brink right now with still plenty of time to play. It's the French champions at this moment who are at the stripe though. Tara Watkins able to hit the second one. Three-pointer off the mark for Aris, and ASVEL look to push the ball quickly down the floor, trailing by 3. Meacham inside, moved across, Nelson to the corner, Dragovic thought about the 3, nice incisive pass inside instead, and it's put in with the contact. Chance at a 3-point play to tie the game. It looks like Jankovic, who come into the game, the guilty man here. Off the mark and off the pace, and giving ASVEL an opportunity to tie. Foul shot off the mark, so they trail by 1. And Adrian Uter not quite able to complete the 3-point play opportunity. Jankovic trying to make amends on the offensive end, hangs it up, and trying to reach it was Justin Jackson. Although I think it was a shot from Jankovic rather than the pass. It was certainly far closer to the basket than it was to his teammate. We'll see it here. It's a good foot in front of Justin Jackson, who's trying to reach it. A chance for ASVEL to get themselves ahead here. Nice pass into the paint, denied though. The block underneath from Jankovic. Jenkins. Here's Jankovic on the offensive end now. Trying to get away from Long. Back out, Cyrelis hands it off now to Jenkins. Jenkins back over to the far side. Jankovic will shoot the 3. And the rebound grabbed by Dragovic. Long approaching the final 3 minutes of the first. It's been a relatively low scoring opening 7 minutes. Aris by 1. Can ASVEL take the lead here? Final seconds of the shot clock. Long crossing over, trying to find room to attack here. On the right hand, drove all the way through the paint. Couldn't finish with the layup though. Squeezed back up towards the basket by Uter, but off the mark again. 3-on-2 fast break, and trying to drive right down the throat of the defense was Will Cummings. He gets plenty of contact and will go to the line. So Cummings at the stripe again, where he's 2 of 4 so far. Has been aggressive in the opening quarter in trying to attack the ASVEL defense. He's only 2 of 5 from the line though now. He's not actually taken a shot from the field yet. He does get that one, so he's 50% from the stripe. And Aris lead by 2. Into the game is Spiros Mortos for the Greek team, the number 16. Here's Trenton Meacham. Now DeMarcus Nelson. Trying to roll into the centre is Uter, receives it now. Across to the far side, the pass was right on the money, the shot wasn't, but a good rebound from Uter, and it's forced up and in by ASVEL, back level. Over on the far side is Thodoras Zaras, who gets underneath the hoop, bounce pass, Mortos, right hand, can't quite get the roll. Able to recover the rebound though on the baseline. Mortos again on the far side, quick crossover, onto the left, reverse layup, wouldn't quite fall, but it was a beautiful attempt as he danced down the baseline and he got contact along the way, I think from Uter. Really good attempt with the contact. It was Uter who picked up the foul. Shooting foul, but ASVEL over the foul limit now nonetheless, with 2 minutes to play. And the foul shot good from Spiros Mortos, who played 8 scoreless minutes across both games in the last round. Only averages 1.6 points, 1.8 boards, 1.3 assists per game, and around 13 minutes a game in this tournament so far. Well, he's already over his scoring average here with those 2 foul shots. DeMarcus Nelson prodding and probing and looking to penetrate, kicks it back out, putting the ball on the floor and attacking like a freight train down the centre is Uter. Shot off the mark though as he was knocked off balance. Here comes Cummings, crossover onto the left and forced away from the basket by Meacham. It was good one-on-one defence from the ASVEL number 7. Aris will inbound the ball from the baseline with just over a minute and a half to play in the first. Deep to Jankovic, across to the far side. High catch for Cummings. He takes on the 3 despite being closed down by Uter, and the rebound is recovered by Bonja-C, who was into the game for the first time as well. Meacham across to DeMarcus Nelson. Nelson on the right-hand drive, looking to attack the hoop, and he's able to score. ASVEL back level. Jankovic, the handoff now to Zaras. Zaras trying to edge his way closer to the basket. Knocked away though. Here comes C. He'll hold it up, look to find the man in the centre in the low post, and there's a foul called as the ball went into Amin Noua, who's in for the first time as well, young, talented Frenchman. You can see Noua being pulled back there underneath the hoop. That's the tip just a few seconds earlier from Adrien Uter. And he's there again, Uter. Taking advantage of the missed foul shot. ASVEL by 3. Xanthopoulos. Jankovic going inside towards Cavadas, and the foul on Uter. You can see him get the wrong side of Cavadas there. It's a simple tip in the end. Cavadas just let him go. Got a foul called on the 32-year-old on the defensive end though. Cavadas out the line where he's off the mark with the first. Aris doing okay inside at the moment, 5 of 7, but they're 0 of 5 from downtown, and they're struggling from the line as well. Just 5 of 10 now, make it 5 of 11. ASVEL 7 of 12 inside, 0 of 3 from downtown, and 4 of 7 from the stripe. Kick out, they'll try and hit the first 3 of the game here. Off the mark though from DeMarcus Nelson. Offensive rebound, Uter again, puts the ball on the floor, back out. C will take on another 3 and finally gets one to go. Right at the end of the first, ASVEL double the lead to 6. Zaras will force that up at the buzzer and it's tipped in. And that will end the scoring for the first quarter. Vasilis Cavadas with the offensive tip to close the gap for Aris down to 4 points. But this was the first 3 of the game from Bonja-C after the 2 teams combined had missed their first 9 attempts from downtown. The tip from Vasilis Cavadas Off the missed shot, just time to get it away. Make sure it's a tight game at the end of one. Aris 17, ASVEL Lyon-Villeurbanne 21. And here we can take a look at some of those shooting numbers I was talking about. You see there, just 1 of 5 from downtown ASVEL. That one right at the end, 0 of 5 Aris. Both teams struggling from the outside. Maybe that will change now. The first one has gone down. You look at the rebounding numbers, a couple more on the offensive board for ASVEL. Has helped them with those second chance opportunities, build up that little lead. And certainly Adrien Uta in that department has really helped the French champions. Cavadas dominant early, scored the first 6 points for Aris, and then had the tip right at the end of the quarter as well, so he leads the way with 8 points for the home team, but 8 points for the visitors for their number 8, Adrien Uta, who's 4 of 6 from the field, grabs 6 rebounds as well. And there he is inside, powering that one in for a chance at a three-point play. All physicality in the paint. That one knocked away brilliantly on the rejection from Jankovic. Here we go, start of the second quarter. A 4-point game, ASVEL with the lead and with possession. To Marcus Nelson. Moved on by C, a chance for Darryl Watkins, who's back in the game here on the turn, tries to bank it in. 2 early fouls for Darryl Watkins, so he had to sit out a large portion of that first quarter. He's back in and taking on a shot straight away, but missing it. Certainly his replacement, Uta, didn't do too badly at all. Here goes Zaras, who didn't do too badly at all last week. Had a standout career game. 19 points. 7 of 11 from the field, and that's after going 0 of 4 from the field in game 1 of that series. Here's C. C looks to take on the 3, and he lost the handle on the ball. So ASVEL have led by as many as 6 points, but the lead just 2 now, and a chance for Aris to tie or maybe even take the lead. Knocked away on the far side by Bonja C, who I think has been called for the foul. ASVEL over the foul limit in the first quarter. Had 4 fouls very early on. They've just picked up the first one of the second. Xanthopoulos back out, Cyrelis. There's the handoff on the perimeter to Zaras. Back into Cyrelis again, looking to spin towards the baseline, puts it up with the right hand, off the mark. Rebound pulled down underneath. And DeMarcus Nelson able to bring the ball away. And there's a foul, as he does, on Mikhailis Cyrelis, first of the quarter on Aris. Fired in towards the rim and towards C, although he wasn't able to grab it. And that pass too high towards Cyrelis as well. Walter Hodge. Hodge from the corner of the paint, puts it up a little bit too long. They'll grab the offensive rebound though with Nua. And a fresh 14 seconds to work with here for ASVEL and for Hodge, who gets it back from Darryl Watkins. Hodge will fire the long 3. Looked off all the way, and the rebound secured this time by Aris. Zaras. Aris another opportunity to get level or maybe ahead. Quick spin move, Cyrelis, nice fake as well as he puts it in. One way and then the other. Michaelis Tsyrelis dances through the paint. 4 points for him. Aris level at 21. Here's Noah, on to Meacham. Across to Hodge. Knocked away from behind. Noah stripped to the ball. Xanthopoulos. Tsyrelis again, looking to attack. No contact called. And ASVEL will come away with the ball. Aris failed to make the most of the fast break opportunity. Meacham moves it on towards Darryl Watkins on the baseline, and there's another whistle on the play. Well, this is the beautiful move from Tsyrelis a few seconds earlier. Quick spin towards the baseline. Nice fake on the shot. He moved back in, used his pivot foot well, and put it up and put it in. Zaras has just been called for his second foul. Meacham, bounce pass to Watkins, puts the ball on the floor, and he's fouled as he's closed out by Simcak. Vasilis Simcak, who's just come in, very experienced Greek centre, 35 years of age. Averaged 14 minutes a game in the regular season and playoff qualifier rounds. Around 3 points, 3.5 rebounds a game. Non-shooting foul, so ASVEL to inbound from the baseline. Deep to Meacham. Meacham stepping back, trying to create a better room for the long two, and nails it. ASVEL back ahead. First points of the night for Trenton Meacham. First points in some time for him in this competition. He had a shocker last time out. He was 0 of 9 from the floor. Here's Mortosh. Crosses over one way, then the other, through the legs, to the corner of the paint, pulls up, off the mark, rebound grabbed by Watkins. He lost it though, recovered by Meacham. ASVEL looking to double their advantage. Hanging in the air to hit for the first time is Walter Hodge. And here comes Cummings, right back at ASVEL, and unable to score. Hodge had missed his first 3 shots before scoring, and Cummings is now 0 of 2 from the field. 2 leading scorers for either team who've struggled. Here goes Noah inside, little hook shot won't go, but he's fouled. So Walter Hodge getting his first points of the ball game, averages 13.3, and Cummings has just 3 points so far from the foul line, averages 14.9 for Aris. We've got a timeout called, 4 minutes here into the second quarter. ASVEL leading by 4.
In the half court, they cannot score in the half court. Be smart, close out. You're getting the rebounds, okay? We're doing a good job defensively. I know I gave them one. Cummings is looking to accelerate. We're doing a good job. A couple more minutes, okay? We'll get some rotations in. Let's play next time, 2 clear next time on offense, okay? Let's pick up with some volume here. Right now, we're in bonus, okay? So there. We have 1 foul, so be smart. Okay? Guys, listen, when they pressure us, be strong and they have to go foul. If they post up well, they're ready to try and front. You guys got to come in.
We can take a look at the rebounding numbers here. ASVEL certainly ahead in that department, particularly on the offensive glass, where they've had double that of Aris. And those second chance opportunities have helped them create a 4-point advantage. They're at the line trying to extend that advantage here as well, and Amin Noah obliges. 5.7 points, 3.9 boards in the regular season, but he had his BCL career high of 15 points in the last game, as well as grabbing 10 rebounds for his first double-double in the competition. All of that just a week before he celebrated his 20th birthday. That was a month ago. ASVEL back in action here, having bypassed the playoff qualifier round. Aris have played twice since then. His team's showing that they're ready to come back into the competition though, despite some bad domestic form as well. Cummings to inbound off the baseline. Back deep to Tyrellis. The handoff to Will Cummings. Shot clock's down to 5 here. Cummings is going to have to quicken the pace onto the left hand. Inside, it's a nice pass to Simsack, but he's forced away by the huge physical frame of Darryl Watkins. He just ran into a brick wall. Hodge. He'll bring the ball over half court. Early foul trouble for Walter Hodge, but he's looking okay now. Shot off the mark from C, able to grab his own rebound with that athleticism and length. But he's not been able to do anything with it. And all the way down the floor, lovely move from Michael Jenkins. Aris able to get back within 4. 6 points for ASVEL on a couple of occasions. Here's the largest lead of the game. Here's Watkins trying to kick it back over to the far side. Stripped by Cummings again. Nice trail. Tyrellis, finger roll, good. 4 unanswered points for Aris, and they are back within touching distance again. 6 points for Mikhailis Tyrellis, and we're going to have an ASVEL timeout just over the midway point of the second quarter. Watkins was trying to find a man in the corner. He was smothered in the paint. Nice little pass from Cummings. Tyrellis with the finger roll finish. It was Jamon Lucas who came up with that previous steal to set Jenkins on his way.
Okay. Get the ball to DeMarcus. DeMarcus gets the ball. Put yourself in this situation right here. Good screen, you're going to try and go under. So a flat screen like this, set a flat screen from the wall.
Instead of fighting switching, so I'll slip through on
back. And you get a strong roll move. Strong roll, they're going to bump. So again, DeMarcus, take your time. Make sure the screen is wide so you can be aggressive. Move, roll really strong. Be a flat screen. We're going to 3 or we'll get moved. Okay?
Yeah, switching first.
We can see from those stats there that both teams have abandoned the outside shot now, after putting up plenty in the opening quarter. 0 of 5 from downtown for Aris. They haven't taken a single attempt from three-point range in the second quarter. And just 1 of 6 from the outside for ASVEL. I do believe they've taken just 1 so far in this quarter. DeMarcus Nelson. Here's Hodge. Nelson again around the big frame of Watkins. Looks over to this near side. Hodge on the move. Can't put it in. The rebound grabbed by Michael Jenkins. Jenkins, the crossover into the 3. A little bit short. Watkins grabs the rebound. Here comes Hodge in full flow. Hangs it high. Oh my, what a finish from Bonja C. Well, that has to be the play of the game so far. The alley-oop finish from C. Jenkins will try and answer back with a 3-pointer though, and gets nothing but nylon. Aris back within 1. And that's the way to stop any momentum that a highlight reel play from ASVEL might have built. Hodge trying to play it across to the near side. He was caught from behind by Jenkins, who may have prodded the ball out. And they've given it to ASVEL. And we're going to have a change here as Walter Hodge gets set to inbound the ball. Watkins. Back to Hodge. Takes on the 3 quickly, off the mark. Rebound grabbed though by Long, who's back in the ball game. Dragovic too, on to Hodge, who drives the baseline, trying to muscle his way through across to the far side. 3-pointer off the mark from Long. Couple of misses for him. It's been a very tight and tense first half. Aris with a chance to retake the lead. It's good for Will Cummings, the step back long range 2. That's his first field goal of the night. He'd only taken 2 attempts before that from the field. And there's a foul called on Darryl Watkins on the offensive end. So ASVEL turn it over, and it's Aris building momentum as we move into the final 3 minutes of the half. Look at the pass, right on the money from Walter Hodge, and Bonja C with a spectacular dunk. Knocked away, it's still going to be Aris ball. Plenty of time on the shot clock as well. Cummings to inbound off the baseline. On the move here is Lucas across to the far side, receives it now. Jamon Lucas. Bounce pass towards Justin Jackson. Jackson attacking the defense inside and finishing. The 2 mid-season recruits for Aris doing the business there. To Marcus Nelson, to Nicola Long, on to Dragovic, who'll fire the 3, got it! Second from the outside for ASVEL. Dragovic gets the French champions back level. Lucas, on the left-hand drive, flips it back over his shoulder, a chance for Justin Jackson to attack inside again, forced away from the basket this time by Uta. And the foul is called on Aris, which I think will take them over the limit with 2 minutes to go in the half. There's the game-tying 3 from Nikola Dragovic. And once more, a look at the finish as Bonja C gives us something to see time and time again. So foul shots to get ASVEL back ahead here. And Dragovic obliges. 6 points for him in this first half now. Second leading scorer for ASVEL. Make it 7. And all the indications are in this first half that this is going to be an incredibly tight playoff series. Now it's looking to make the most of the home leg, as they did against Strasbourg in the playoff qualifiers. Haven't quite been able to do that just yet, and they've turned the ball over here, and the foul is called on Jenkins, so ASVEL will go straight back to the line. Aris over the foul limit. And ASVEL, who got over the foul limit only 5 minutes or so into the first quarter, have done a much better job of managing those fouls here in the second. They've picked up just 2. Adrian Uta off the mark with the first. Largest lead for both teams has been 6 points so far. He misses both of them, so it's just a 2-point advantage here. Jackson, the rebound, gives it to Cummings. And now Jenkins. Here's Cummings again. Jackson looking to set the screen, rolls into the centre, comes back out to the high post again. And there's a foul going to be called here on Trenton Meacham. Jankovic and Zaras, the 2 players on 2 fouls for Aris. Uta, Hodge and Watkins all on 2 for ASVEL. Jenkins the inbound to Cummings. Now Jenkins again, final minute and a half of the first half. He gets all the way through, free passage into the paint for Jenkins to finish. Seven points in the first half for Michael Jenkins now. He's 3 of 6 from the field. 34-34, dead level as we move towards the final minute of the second quarter. Meacham Shot clock down to the final 5 seconds. Nelson, he looks to attack, left hand, fades towards the baseline, can't hit, and it's grabbed above the rim by Jackson. Crossover onto the left hand towards the baseline again, and then a burst by Cummings as he gets fouled on his way. Foul should be on Trenton Meacham again. And it's going to be foul shots again for Will Cummings, who will have taken 8 in this first half. He's only made 3 of 6 so far. Meacham's picked up his 3rd foul. And the problem from the line continues for Cummings. Look at that, 3 of 7 so far for Aris, his leading scorer, and he misses another one. Can't quite believe what's happening, Will Cummings. There has been a foul called after the missed free throw. But Cummings, who across the season is a 75% free throw shooter, is now just 3 of 8 here. ASVEL over the foul limit, so Tyrelis gets a chance to step up, and he misses as well. Tyrelis, an 84% free throw shooter across the season. He does get the second one. So as a team, Aris, I make it 6 of 13 now. Or 6 of 14, you can see there. 43% from the stripe. Final 40 seconds, they'll try and come up with a steal. Meacham able to get over half court, just about. Almost carried it back over as well. The crowd not happy. DeMarcus Nelson. Shot clock down to the final 6 seconds, it is knocked away here. 3-on-1, fast break. Justin Jackson forced back, then into the lane, left hand, rolls it up and in. And it looked like he just had his momentum disrupted enough, but he was able to refocus and find a finish. Aris up by 3. Final seconds of the first half. DeMarcus Nelson holding for maybe the final shot. Onto his right, attacks. Is he going to get there in time as he rises to the rim? It is going to be 2 free throws for DeMarcus Nelson, who left it about as late as you can. 0.2 on the game clock. That was the finish from Justin Jackson at the other end. This was the contact on centre court, the balance on the halfway line. The decision that the fans in Thessaloniki weren't happy about. They certainly won't be happy that DeMarcus Nelson is at the stripe. Nelson just 2 points before these foul shots in the game. Averages over 10 a game. He will finish the first half with 4 though. He makes them both. No time to get that one away, although it was incredibly close. I'm not sure it would have counted, and it has been an incredibly close first half in Thessaloniki in the first leg of this Basketball Champions League playoff tie. Aris lead by just 1, 37-36 over ASVEL Lyon-Villeurbanne. The first half in which neither team has led by more than 6 points. They have both shot well, enough inside. Both struggled from downtown. Just 1 of 7 for Aris, 2 of 9 for ASVEL. But Aris struggling from the line. That's one of the standout stats from the first half. Just 6 of 14 from the free throw stripe, and that could be a big factor. You have to remember, as we see some more of the stats here from the first half, 2 more turnovers for ASVEL. You have to remember that each and every point counts in these 2-legged ties. It's a case of who has the highest score on aggregate when it's all said and done. We play in Thessaloniki here tonight and in France next week. It's Aris who have the most possible slender of advantages at half-time at the quarter-way point in this playoff tie. It's Aris 37, ASVEL Lyon-Villeurbanne 36. Well, these Basketball Champions League playoff ties have been spectacular so far. 3 last night, and all of the teams separated by a combined total of just 4 points. So far tonight we have a 1-point game between Karşıyaka and Beşiktaş, and a 1-point game here as well between Aris and ASVEL. It's the Greeks who have the slight edge, 37-36, led by the 8 points of Vasilis Kavadas, all of those coming in the first quarter. He's only played 5 minutes and 19 seconds so far. And they also have 7 apiece from Tyrelis and Jenkins, 6 from Justin Jackson. ASVEL led by the 8 of Utter, who's 4 of 6 from the field in just 6 minutes on court himself. They've had 7 from Dragovic and 5 from the high-flying Bonjasi, who produced the most spectacular play of the first half so far, as he finished off an alley-oop pass from Walter Hodge. Hodge himself is just 1 of 6 from the floor, though. ASVEL's leading scorer through the course of the season, and that highlight reel assist is only assist of the game so far. He's limited to just 2 points. Will Cummings of Aris, their leading scorer across the season coming into tonight, is 1 of 8 from the field, and he's got to the line for 8 free throws but hit just 3 of them and only has 5 points in the game. Aris as a team are shooting themselves in the foot from the foul line, just 6 of 14 for 43%. And 2 sets of players back out on the floor and then receiving their final words of wisdom from the 2 respective coaches ahead of the start of this second half in Thessaloniki. It's the great thing about these 2-legged ties that we saw in the playoff qualifiers and here in the playoffs, is that each and every point matters and could matter so significantly. Even if we get towards the end of this first leg and one team has a 10-point lead over the other, it could be that 1 point either way makes all the difference when it's all said and done, as we will take into account the scores from both legs over the tie to work out the aggregate to decide who goes through to the quarter-finals. Plenty in the house now the Nick Gallis Hall in Thessaloniki. The Greek fans, as ever, will try and roar their team on. It was a 19-point win over Strasbourg here in the first leg of their playoff qualifier. It's looking considerably tougher against the French champions here this evening. So at the start of the game, there was little to separate the two in terms of their offensive output, both averaging 76 points per game. And just 1 point has separated them in the first half. 37-36 to Aris as we start the third quarter. Aris, the home team, with the ball with Xanthopoulos. Across to the far side to Michael Jenkins. 7 points so far. Xanthopoulos again to Cummings on this near side. Into Kavadas, nice pass towards the baseline, back out by Tyrelis. The attack then from the far side, and that one's so high, it came down with snow on it. Beautiful arc on the runner from Jenkins, who now has 9 points. Hodge on to Nelson. Nelson back out, 3-point attempt. Dragovic, it's way off the mark considering how open he was. Aris up by 3 and a chance to extend the advantage here in the first minute of the second half with Kavadas onto Xanthopoulos. Kavadas looking to set the screen on the perimeter. Xanthopoulos towards the baseline, under the hoop, back out to the far side. Gets it in the corner for 3 and got it! Vasilis Xanthopoulos making it a perfect start to the second half for Aris. They double the lead to 6 and they tie the largest lead of the game. Here's Watkins spinning away in the paint, denied by Kavadas though. Darryl Watkins smothered. JD Jackson, head coach of ASVEL, wanting a foul, but he's not going to get it. That's what Kavadas can do, 2 blocks per game. in just 15.5 minutes per game this season. So Aris with a chance to make it the out-and-out largest lead of the game here. ASVEL waiting for their first point of the second half still. Jenkins, left hand onto Cavadas. Wanted to move it on to Cummings, eventually does, then goes and sets the screen. Cummings towards the baseline under the hoop, back out. Jenkins will take on a three. Wouldn't go down this time from the outside. And Dragovic battling away over on the far side. It's going to be Aris ball still. Just 1 of 7 from downtown in the first half, Aris. They hit their first three-point shot of the second. And here it was from Xanthopoulos in the corner. Another three off the mark with back-to-back attempts now since that Xanthopoulos conversion. To Marcus Nelson. They look to maybe go around the screen here. Of Dragovic, who gets it back, looks to attack inside instead of taking on the three this time into the paint, puts it up. Almost got it to go down over the top of Jenkins and Cavadas, and Jenkins, who looks a little bemused by the call, has been judged to have made contact. And I think it's going to be a shooting foul, which will send ASVEL and Nikola Dragovic to the line. So now they have their first chance to score in this half, and Dragovic can't take it. ASVEL 10 of 15 from the line before that miss. It's not great, but it's still better than Aris. And Dragovic 50% on that trip. Aris still presented with an opportunity to make it largest lead of the game here. They're up by 5. Both teams have led by as many as 6. Cavadas, the high screen, and a slip by Jenkins, but there was a foul. It looks like it could be on DeMarcus Nelson. That would be the first foul of the third quarter on ASVEL. Cavadas has had something to say at the start of this second half, just as he did at the start of the first. Pressure on the ball handler Cummings, onto Jenkins. Jenkins closed out aggressively on the perimeter. Backing in, going to work is Tyrelis. Turns towards the baseline and puts it in. Michaelis Tyrelis has come up with some big baskets here this evening. 9 points for him now. It's almost double his season average. Here goes Hodge, spots the gap, attacks it. Can't get the bounce though. And Tyrelis is there with the rebound as well. Largest lead so far for Aris at 7 now. Cavadas the high screen, around it goes Xanthopoulos. Cavadas into the lane, but he's forced away off the ball and out to the paint by Darryl Watkins. Good inside defense from the big American that forces the turnover on Cavadas. Dragovic inside, and the foul as DeMarcus Nelson put it up. So he will go to the line now. ASVEL so far have been outscored 7-1 in this third quarter. That 1 point coming from the line, and they're back there again. Key in so many areas this season, DeMarcus Nelson, 10.4 points. And then second best averages for the team of 4.7 assists, 4.5 rebounds, and 1.4 steals. Had just 4 points though at USAC on the last day of the regular season. Was just 1 of 4 from the field, and he's struggled in terms of scoring so far here. He's 0 of 3 from the floor, but he is now 3 of 3 from the line. In fact, make it 4 of 4 from the line, I beg your pardon. 4 points for DeMarcus Nelson. Aris by 5. Here's Will Cummings around the high screen of Cavadas again. Cavadas looking to make some room for his teammate on the perimeter, and there's a gap that Cummings burst through to finish. Cummings starting to score from the field the way he wasn't in the first half. Dragovic trapped inside, called for a travel, and ASVEL will turn it over. It's been a torrid start to the third for them. They've gone nearly 4 minutes without a field goal. And that's got the Greek fans bouncing again. 7 points, the Aris lead. They're looking to extend what is already largest lead of the game with Cummings. Cavadas a high screen again, Cummings around him. Long two this time, Cummings off the mark. Rebound grabbed and pulled down quickly. Moved forward quickly by DeMarcus Nelson. Step back three-pointer. Meacham might have had a toe on the line. Rebound grabbed by Nelson. On the offensive glass given to Xanthopoulos though. He's able to get away. Forward towards Cavadas. If he can get him south basket side, he can to finish. Aris just wanted it more as they burst into a 9-point lead, and that will force ASVEL into the first timeout of the second half. Double figures now for Cavadas. He leads all scorers in the game with 10.
We have one foul, okay? One foul and about 5 turnovers. So cool it off, okay? I don't care about fans, I don't care about the aggressive defense. I care about the way we play basketball.
Well, there you can see the drought for ASVEL. Almost 4.5 minutes without a field goal at the start of this second half. They're 3 points so far in the second half, all coming from the line. That was Xanthopoulos getting the better of Meacham. And then it was prodded forward to Cavadas, who just muscled himself basket side to finish. Three-pointer Dragovic. They desperately need something, and they're not going to get it here. And a chance for Aris to make it the first double-digit lead of the night. Xanthopoulos. Cummings. Cavadas the high screen again, trying to create room for Cummings, but too forceful in setting the screen this time, and he's called for the offensive foul. It's Cavadas' first foul of the night. Just moved into Meacham. You can see it quite clearly. Hodge, bounce pass to Utter, on it goes to Meacham. Meacham hangs on the foul line and hits. ASVEL looking to keep it close and not allow Aris that huge psychological advantage of making it a double-figure margin between the two. Cavadas clings onto the ball, looks to attack himself this time, kicks it back out. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Crossovers, pull-up, two-pointer, good for Spiros Mortos with a hand in his face. Lead back to 9 for Aris. Here goes Hodge, bounce pass into the lane. Aris able to deflect it away, and it's going to be their ball as well. The Greeks have taken charge in the second half. Look at this from Mortos. With the defender in his face. And now Aris have the ball back and a chance to make it a double-figure lead for the first time. Cummings. Mortos again. Behind the back dribble this time, trying to shake off the attentions of DeMarcus Nelson. He edges his way in, high, off the backboard, wouldn't fall though, and it's grabbed by Adrian Utter. Walter Hodge, looking to attack himself this time. Rebound grabbed and put in by Dragovic. ASVEL refusing to allow that gap to open to 10 or more. Here's Mortos again. Across to Justin Jackson. Waiting for movement around him, looks to attack then on the left hand, one-on-one, kicks it back out. Creates some room on the perimeter for the three. It's off the front rim, batted away. There's plenty of contact underneath though, and it looks like it's going to be a foul on ASVEL, and I think on Hodge. Indeed it is. So Walter Hodge picks up his third. The only other player on 3 fouls for ASVEL is Meacham, who's also in the game right now. Non-shooting foul, so the inbound, and they knock down the three straight away. Thodoris Saras opens up the first double-digit lead of the night. The man who had a career high 19 points last time out. Nelson Tuota. Final 3 minutes of the third. Waiting for a cut in towards the basket. Hodge will just muscle it up there. Sheer force of will from ASVEL's leading scorer. Only his second field goal. Aris lead by 8. Cummings. Jackson trying to create room for him. Moves inside. Cummings behind the back. Into the paint. Back over to the far side. So congested as Mortosh looks to attack the edge of the paint and turns it over. Really good interior defense from ASVEL. There just wasn't anywhere to go here. This was the three from Thodoris Saras, who was electric last week, en route to that career high 19. And the response from Hodge almost had an air of force and certainly an air of good fortune about it, but he got it. Moved around to Nelson to the high post, and Hodge had moved backwards. That's the position he was in. And I think Nelson saw the coach on the sideline and still played the pass. Cummings, the screen set by Jackson. Chance to attack on the move for Mortosh, and the foul call. Non-shooting foul again, and Saras will inbound from the sideline. 3 team fouls apiece in the third. Cummings. Saras on the move again, receives it now. Little head fake. Defense not biting. Jackson tries to set the screen. Saras moves towards the baseline, and Nelson stuck with him all the way. Aris is saying he got a touch off DeMarcus Nelson to carry it over the top of the backboard. The officials didn't see it. Maybe this will give us a better idea. You can make your own mind up about that one. Walter Hodge. Crossover onto the right, trying to get away from Saras. Still 10 seconds to work with here. Hodge backing up, looking to fire a pass in. It was a beautiful eye of the needle pass as well. And foul on Justin Jackson. A chance for ASVEL to close the gap down to 6 points again. Second foul on Justin Jackson. A chance for Uta at the line to reach the double-figure milestone. His teammate Dragovic is already there at 10. This one would give him 10. 7 rebounds as well, as you can see, as well as a couple of assists and a steal. He's had a big impact in just 10.5 minutes on the floor, and he does now have 10 points, on course perhaps for a double-double. That was Aris's 4th team foul of the quarter. Only around 75 seconds of the third to play though. Jankovic. There's a man down on the baseline off the ball. No contact called. Spit move in the paint as Justin Jackson looks to attack. The foul called this time. Oh, it's a travel that's been called, in fact, on Justin Jackson by the looks of it. That was really good interior defense again from ASVEL. The extra step there from Justin Jackson turns the ball over, but look how tight the defence is to him. Simsak in the game for Aris. ASVEL struggling with their inside shooting. Here's Long battling away against Zaras, and the foul called will send Long to the line. Aris now over the foul limit for the quarter. Coach Priftis will make his side's case. Coach Jackson may just feel that this is a route back into the game now for ASVEL. They've been able to just about withstand the Aris storm in the third quarter, give themselves a chance of keeping it close heading into the fourth. Long misses the first though. And he hits the second, makes it a 5-point game, 48.9 to play in the third. Again, I remind you how significant each and every point could prove to be when it's all said and done. It's all about the score added up across the two legs. We play in Greece and then next week in France. Will Cummings. Thodoras Zaras now looking to move towards the corner. Finds a path to try and exploit towards the paint, and he's fouled on his way. Really has looked confident since coming in this second half, Thodoras Zaras, and why wouldn't he be after his performance last week? Really was the unlikely hero in that game. More than double his season average, almost triple his season average in scoring. Aris have been penalised here and turn the ball over to ASVEL. With just 37 seconds to play in the third, that's a 13-second differential between shot and game clock. Walter Hodge trying to help ASVEL finish the quarter on a high. C back to Hodge again. Hodge looking for C once more, steps back, he'll take on a three, he was caught as he put it up there. The closeout was overzealous from Mortosh, and this will be 3 foul shots for Bonja C. Quite clearly caught. We'll see it again here, the closeout from Mortosh, flying just to catch him on the wrist. Almost looked like he caught both wrists, in fact. So Bonja C at the line. Five points so far. It's his first trip to the stripe, and he misses the first. He will get 2 more, of course, to try and reduce the arrears to 4. Well, it has been a struggle. Can he get something at least? He can. 1 point reduces the gap to 5. He hit 2 of his 3 shots from the field, but just 1 of his 3 foul shots here at the end of the third. Shot clock turned off at the end of the quarter then. Ball in the hands of Will Cummings. Looking to hold it for the final shot of the third. Back out he goes. Here's Jenkins across to the far side. 3-point attempt off the mark from Jankovic. So the third quarter comes to a close with Aris leading by 5. And this one looks like it is going the distance. It looked as though the Greeks were going to pull away with their start to this quarter. They made it a double-digit lead, but they have been pegged back by a resilient French champion. Aris 54, ASVEL Lyon-Villeurbanne 49 at the end of 3. We'll see how those shooting numbers have changed. Aris doing better inside now. It was ASVEL up at half-time in that respect. And that was a lovely pass inside, the kick back out. As they attacked at the end of the shot clock, Michael Jenkins. And then the corner 3 from Xanthopoulos. They've not had too much luck from the outside tonight, Aris. But that was all part of their tremendous start to the second half. A beautiful hook shot from Cyrelis. He's had 9 points in the game, Jenkins 9, but Cavadas 10 to lead the way is 5 of 5 from the field so far, as well as a big momentum building block in that quarter as part of Aris's run. Xanthopoulos through the legs of Meacham that time. Cavadas putting in to become the first to double figures for Aris. 2 on double figures so far for ASVEL, Utter and Dragovic. They were able to find their feet again in the third. Meacham hitting one of his 2 field goals in the game. He's teetering on the brink of elimination though on 4 fouls, the only player on 4. It's been a really well contested first leg of this playoff tie so far. And the pieces picked up by Dragovic there. He is 3 of 7 from the field in the game so far for his 10 points. Utter is 4 of 6 and has also grabbed 8 rebounds. DeMarcus Nelson, just 4 points so far, yet to hit a field goal. Utter able to find a way through, knocked away by Lucas though, picks up the pieces and puts it in. ASVEL closed the gap to 3. From a double-digit deficit, it's a 1-possession game. Here's Jamon Lucas across to the corner. Jankovic inside, back to Lucas again. Mid-range shot off the mark, bounced twice on the rim. And another rebound for Utter. Takes him just 1 away from the double-double. To Marcus Nelson. Trying to get through the paint. Utter, the rebound off the mark. And that will be now a double-double for him, although he missed the shot. And it goes to Cavadas again, looking to back in and go one-on-one. Huge physical battle inside. Baby hook won't go for him. And ASVEL can come forward on the fast break. 3-on-2 almost on this side. And there's contact as they try and score. The foul called on Jamon Lucas. You can see quite clearly there, caught across the forearm, and DeMarcus Nelson will go to the stripe. Nelson 0 of 4 from the field, but 4 of 4 from the line. I'm sure ASVEL will have been watching last week when Aris nearly surrendered a 19-point lead from the first leg on the road in the second leg at Strasbourg. And they will feel if they can keep this first leg tight, ASVEL, they will have a big advantage when it goes back to France next week. But Cavadas has other ideas as he gets inside and scores. Aris by 3. Nelson on to Long, back to Nelson again, goes around the screen, forced back out, still plenty of time to work with here. Moved on by Neuer who gets it back here, and then as it knocked away, it's still going to be ASVEL ball, but there's just 2.4 seconds remaining on the shot clock. And it comes from Nelson. Quick catch and shoot from the outside, good for Nicola Long. It's a long 2 for Long that makes it a 1-point game. Knocked away out of the hands of Jenkins, who recovers. He's going to attack C, he's got away, he's found a hole in the defence and he's scored. Aris just about keeping ASVEL at bay. Double figures now for Jenkins with 11. Long. Here's C. Across to the far side it goes to Long. Behind the back dribble, trying to shake off the attentions of Lucas. Utter will put up a outside shot that's short. Here comes Cummings, and he's fouled in transition by Long. There's the finish as Jenkins switches hands from right to left. Second foul called on Long. First in the quarter on ASVEL. Jankovic into Cavadas. This is the area he likes the ball. Flips it up, puts it in, gets the roll. And Aris extend their breathing room to 5 points. 14 now for Cavadas. Nelson spotted a gap and burst through it to finish. Finally gets his first field goal to Marcus Nelson, having missed his first 4 attempts. Jankovic around the screen of Cavadas. Lucas will go around that screen as well. Knocked away from this near side though. A chance 3-on-2. On the fast break, move to the far side. C back out. They get back well in transition. Aris. ASVEL couldn't really make their minds up, it seemed. And now they'll have to do it in the half court. Moved on to the far side. C will take on the 3 and gets nothing but net. ASVEL back level after a double-figure deficit. (60-60) with 6 minutes to play. A foul called over on the far side is on the offensive team. So Aris will turn the ball over. Here's the 3 from C that takes him to 9 points and gets ASVEL back level. Cavadas taking a seat. Never tends to play too long. He's got 14 points in under 15 minutes. Although he has been guilty of 5 turnovers. Nelson goes all the way, and after missing his first 4, he's now hit back-to-back field goal attempts, and ASVEL have come from behind to lead. Cummings on to Jenkins, back to Cummings again. He bursts towards the baseline, lays it up and gets it to bounce in. We are neck and neck as we move towards the midway point of the 4th. 9 points now for Will Cummings. Marcus Nelson starting to heat up. And there's plenty of jostling for position, fighting for position. Over on the far side of the perimeter, the foul's going to go on Vasilis Simcak as he wrestled with Darryl Watkins. You'll see it here to the right of your picture. Well, how do you call that? 50-50. Simcak's second foul. Aris have 3 here in the 4th. ASVEL just 1. Nelson lost it, recovered on the baseline by Watkins, thrown into the hands though of Cummings. Cummings has Jenkins for support. He holds on to the ball. He waits for the cavalry to arrive. Simcak setting the screen. The 3-point shot well short. An air ball thrown up by Will Cummings. So midway point of the 4th. There is nothing to separate the 10-time Greek champions from the 18-time and reigning French champions. Long finding C, whose outside shot got ASVEL back level, almost pinched on centre court. Move forward. Utter getting in towards the basket. Soft touch from the big man goes down. ASVEL have been able to get their noses in front, and Aris will call a timeout here to try and stop the French momentum. It's been a very tight game for the first 35 minutes here. You look at where these two could be separated, and Aris will see that they have taken 5 more shots from the field. They've hit at a better percentage as well, 50% to 45%. The difference is at the foul line, where the home team are just 44%, 7 of 16. ASVEL 19 of 28 so far. They lead by 2. Zaras. Long 3 is too long from Jenkins. They'll try and fight for the offensive rebound, and they get one. That had been one of the areas where ASVEL had a huge advantage so far. 11 to 6 on the offensive glass, but Aris get one when they really need one here. They didn't want to miss off the back of that timeout, which was called to stop the momentum that ASVEL are building. Here's Zaras. They'll have a second chance opportunity, and the foul called on Daryl Watkins is the 3rd on ASVEL in the 4th. So both teams on 3 now. Watkins' 3rd personal. Aris will inbound from the baseline again. 14 seconds. A 3rd chance opportunity now. Zaras only needs a second. Catch and shoot from the corner off the mark, and another rebound for Adrian Utter. 14 points, 12 boards for him now. He sets the high screen as well. There's the handoff. Nelson across to the far side. Long. Backs off, looks to attack again. Finds Utter, thinks about the 3. Goes between the legs instead, moves it on towards Watkins. Shot clock down to 2 now as Watkins is able to bank it in. Get the kiss cam out for that one. Watkins kissing the glass and getting it to fall. Aris down by 4. Here's Cummings. Shot clock down to 5 here. Cummings has to quicken the offense. He takes on the 3, misses again from the outside, and it's a commanding take from Daryl Watkins. Cummings is now 0 of 4 from downtown. Hodge. The wind certainly in the ASVEL sails here. Watkins sets the high screen. Hodge around him, pick and roll from Watkins, and a foul call before Hodge could return the ball to him. Here's the shot from Watkins that kisses the backboard. Beautifully done. Hand in his face as well. That's quite a remarkable shot. And when you're feeling confident, everything seems to fall, and that's the case for ASVEL right now. Aris, everything they're doing is coming at a push. ASVEL, you can see the edge in terms of rebounding so far, and despite not having the edge in terms of shooting percentages, they have the edge in the one stat that really matters on the main scoreboard. 66-62. Coach JD Jackson's team lead, led by the 14 points of Utter, who has a double-double with 12 rebounds, 10 points apiece for Dragovic and Nelson. Here's Walter Hodge. Watkins comes to set the screen. Hodge around him, trying to get through a pack of those yellow jerseys. They'll turn the ball over on the baseline. That's what Aris needed off the back of the timeout. Final 3 minutes of the game, they trail by 4. Cummings, 16th turnover for ASVEL. They've had 3 more than their hosts here this evening. Step back, hand in the face, 2, falls well short. Defense may have got a piece of it. Quarterback pass down the floor, denied though. Flying back towards his own backboard. Big time block for Aris. Into the low post, at the other end, forced up on a chance at a 3-point play. Big time at both ends of the court. Tyrellis able to force it up and in, gets a chance to make it a 1-point game. But how about this rejection travelling back from Cummings? Aris going the full length of the court. And Michaelis Tyrellis squeezing it in with the contact. Well, they may just have turned the tide now. Any foul from this point on either defense will send the opposition offense to the foul line for 2 minutes and 21 seconds. At the foul line this time to complete the 3-point play is Tyrellis. We have a 1-point game on our hands here in the Basketball Champions League playoffs. Incredibly tight. It has proved in each and every playoff contest so far. And this is as tight as it can be. To Marcus Nelson. Shot clock to the final 10 seconds. Nelson able to shake off the attentions of Tyrellis. Ran into trouble though and dribbled away off the foot of Walter Hodge. Turnover from ASVEL gives Aris a chance to retake the lead. Well, the fans are on their feet and back in full voice now in Thessaloniki. Xanthopoulos. Jackson rolled into the centre, comes back out to set the screen, behind the back dribble, almost given away by Xanthopoulos, picked up by Jackson as he looks to travel through, and there's a whistle on the play. And that will quieten the home fans just a little bit. Aris turn it over, and ASVEL have the smallest possible advantage, but do remember it goes down to what happens in the second leg. Surely, no matter what happens in the final minute and a half, this will be a decent performance and a decent result for ASVEL. Aris needs something more, you feel, on home court. Hodge pulls up for the 3. Can't hit. Rebound grabbed by Xanthopoulos. Any kind of a win for Aris would give them a big psychological boost at least, heading to France. Backing in and going to work here is Tyrellis, who's been impressive this evening. Little head fake. The hook shot, good, over the top of the defense. Beautifully done, Tyrellis. 14 points for him. He's 6 of 8 from the field. That's almost 3 times his season average. Lovely fake. The hook shot as he's caught on the wrist by Dragovic. Tyrellis still getting it to go. Certainly looked like there was contact. The foul wasn't called though. Aris by 1. Meacham. Hodge now on the far side, slowing it down as we move into the final minute. Looks to kick it over to Meacham on the far side. There's a whistle on the play as well. You can hardly hear it because of the noise from the Greek fans. Aris by 1 point, 67-66. Yesterday we had a 3-point game, a tie game, and a 1-point game. Tonight so far we've had a 5-point game, and then these two separated by 1. The foul shot off the mark from Walter Hodge, who has struggled this evening. 2 of 10 from the field, and he misses his first free throw attempt as well. Just 1 assist as well. It's about as bad as it gets for him. The second one good to make the game even closer. 67-67, 53 seconds to play. The Greek fans will try and roar their team over the finish line. Three-pointer from Zaras off the mark. It was a quick catch and shoot. ASVEL coming forward, the rebound from Nelson. Nelson back to Meacham. They'll hold it and slow it down again. DeMarcus Nelson moves it in towards Dragovic. Across to the far side. Will Hodge continue to try and fire? He's had it knocked away again. Ran into his own teammate, recovered by Xanthopoulos here. He's going to wait for the cavalry to arrive, and in doing so, he's taken an extra step. Lost touch with his pivot foot and turns the ball back over. So with the shot clock turned off now at the end of the game, the ball is in the hands of ASVEL. Xanthopoulos doesn't think so. And nor do a few thousand inside this arena. 21 seconds to play. ASVEL inbound under some high pressure from Aris, who drop off now. The ball in the hands of Walter Hodge, who has had a very difficult night. Can he have the final say? They'll hold it for the last shot of the first leg of this playoff tie. Across to Meacham it goes. Meacham back out. Hodge has to get the shot away. On the move. Three-pointer won't go down. And we are heading to France dead level. Aris and ASVEL inseparable over the first leg of this playoff tie. A good result, you have to feel, for coach JD Jackson's team. The French champions will have home court advantage now in this playoff series. Aris have to go on the road to France and come up with a huge result. Coach Dimitris Priftis won't be happy. It's finished Aris 67, ASVEL Lyon-Villeurbanne 67. And I think Aris will be even more disappointed given the double-figure lead that they built up in the third quarter that quickly dissipated. You can see they really struggled. Both teams, in fact, really struggled from the outside. 3 of 18 Aris, 3 of 16 ASVEL. Aris shooting a better percentage inside, but free throws proving to be their Achilles heel. The home team 8 of 17 from the stripe, and in a series where each and every point can prove crucial. ASVEL made only 67% from the line themselves, but 20 of 30 attempts is a lot better. They were aggressive in getting to the foul stripe. Aris perhaps didn't manage the fouls as well as they could have done. Almost double the attempts from ASVEL and making them at a better percentage. A look at the leaders, Cyrelis and Utter with 14 points apiece. The latter having a double-double, also grabbing 12 rebounds. And for Aris, another 2 players in double figures. In fact, Cavadas also had 14 along with Cyrelis, and Jenkins went on to finish with 11. Will Cummings, after a series of misses towards the end of the game, finished 3 of 11 from the field and was stuck on single figures with 9 points. For ASVEL, 14 for Utter, 10 for Dragovic, and 10 as well for DeMarcus Nelson. But their main man, Walter Hodge, missed the final shot of the game, finished just 2 of 11 from the floor for 5 points. The series will move to France for the second and final leg next week. You can almost disregard this one now. It's whoever wins that one between Aris and ASVEL. There's plenty more Basketball Champions League ties in the playoffs going on this evening. Do tune into those. But from me, Tim Long, and from Thessaloniki, it's goodbye for now.